Welcome to Tobar's Realm. Today I think I'm going to start a project that I've been thinking about from watching some primitive technology videos where they basically make a clay or earthen furnace, and I'm going to try making one of those to try to melt aluminum using firewood. So there's a place over by my garden where the ground is a little uneven, where it's probably about 18 inches higher on one side than the other. So I think my idea is I'm going to dig out like that and then create, let's see, kind of the brick chimney will be set down into the ground, and then we'll have a layer where the wood will be fed in on top, and then air, kind of a rocket stove type deal. So the fire will be here. And the reason I'm setting it down into the ground is because if I'm going to be trying to melt that aluminum in a crucible, I want it to be as low to the ground as possible for when I pick up the crucible. If I were to do it at ground level, then it would be that much higher. So that's why I'm setting it down in the ground. And this is kind of just a prototype to see if it'll work. I'm using just regular bricks, the bricks that are they have the 3 holes in them like that, and I'm going to lay them sideways so that those holes are up and down to allow that airflow. I think I might put them on their side out here where the wood will be on top of it, because I want the air to be blasting up through where the fire will be in here. And then the front, I think I'll have it open in the front about, I'll have to see how it works out in real life, but my thought is of having it open on this side so I can grab that crucible out there. And so I'll have some sort of layer in there to set that on, maybe out of metal, or depending on how the bricks work out. I don't know. I could change all of this as I'm going, but that's my thought at this point. So I'm going to go out and dig that, go get some bricks, and start figuring it out. Well, I got some of the bricks I'm going to be using. Like I said, they're just regular old bricks. I also had some old pavers left, so I might incorporate those somehow. I don't know. But here's where I'm going to dig it, I think. I don't know if you can see it kind of has a drop off. It's probably, I don't know, 18 inches, 2 feet higher. So I'm just going to recess it back into that so that basically the top is going to be close to ground level of the top. So start doing that. So this is the kind of the shape I'm going for here, but I ran out of bricks. But see, the bottom will be an intake for the air, feed the firewood in there, and then those holes will be the draft for that, for the air. But since it takes more bricks than I got, I think when I dig it out, I'll use as much of the existing walls of the ground to be the walls of that, so I can conserve some bricks that way. But that's the idea I'm going for there. Well, this is all the bricks I got, so I decided to change a little bit of my plan. What I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to dig it straight into this hillside and just use the dirt itself as the base, and then add a little bit on the top or inside. So first thing I'm going to do is just kind of square off the edge here. Alright, so I got it dug out a little bit here. There's a couple bricks just for reference. So that's about 18 inches deep, I guess. Just flatten the top out a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try digging a hole down in this area, leaving, I don't know, I guess about 6 inches in between it, and then dig a tunnel through it for the actual burning chamber. So I may have to reinforce, I don't know, we'll see how it goes. Alright, so I used post hole digger just to dig down about the same level as this front part. I made that bigger, it's about a foot or so between there. Now I'm going to connect this front part to that chimney hole, and then widen it out inside for the burn chamber. Well, I dug down in there, got those laid. I'm going to put a sheet of metal across that to where the air will go underneath it, and then you feed the firewood above. And then those holes are there, let the air in. Hopefully this doesn't cave in overnight. If it does, we'll have to rethink it. Alright, so on that bottom layer, I ended up just putting a piece of sheet metal there from an old realtor sign, and also made it so it's supporting that part there. So I think I'm just gonna run it without adding any chimney or anything. I'm just gonna see how it goes like this. So I'm gonna get some wood chopped up, and I'll probably do longer pieces so I can like feed them in as they go. But not too bad, I think. Well, I'm ready to start the fire. Just got some kindling and stuff in there. I don't know, has anybody tried when you put cotton balls with Vaseline on them? I've tried that out. I saw it on some video, and those things work great as a fire starter. Just kind of soak some cotton balls in Vaseline, and then when you're gonna light it, just kind of pull them apart a little bit, and then when you light it up, they just go. It's just cotton balls and Vaseline. So we'll let this get going and check in on it in a few. Well, it's been burning for about 10 minutes. The fire started creeping out. I guess it's not burning quick enough in there, but that's going pretty good. You can feel the heat off of there. I don't know if maybe it'd be better to use smaller pieces. Maybe drop them in from the top, like bigger chunks. But maybe you'll get better when the coals build up. But that's where I'm at now. Well, just a test drive, so we'll see. We've been running probably 20-30 minutes, and I decided I'd throw the crucible on there, throw some cans in it just to see what happens. And I don't know, I'm gonna have to change something, but whatever, just trying it out. Well, I've been burning for about 45 minutes or so. Not quite hot enough to melt those. Not quite operating correctly. Like, I don't know, it seems like the draft should be like creating a stronger fire down in there. So I'm not sure if it's that the wood is just not great. It's just cottonwood, or air flows too much or not enough, or what. But I'm gonna tinker around and see what I decide to end up doing. So I blocked off the front to isolate the air that was coming in through there to see if it would change anything, and it actually slowed it down. So I don't think it's getting enough air from underneath, or it can't come up through the ashes. Or maybe I added too much wood and like smothered it. Should let it burn down a little. But air seems to be the thing right now. Well, I think I've decided what I'm going to do to try to adjust how this thing's burning. I also made a little grate to use above to set that crucible on. And I'm going to pull those bricks out that the air was going through. I'm just going to pull them out completely. And then I'm going to move this metal on top of those bricks right there, and then add a couple more for it to sit on. So the air underneath will like double, and then where the wood goes in, I'm going to cut smaller length and smaller diameter pieces. And try that and see what change that makes. Alright, I got that switched out. I put the bottom where the air goes in 2 bricks high instead of 1. Put that support back in, but kept it out a little more because the fire was coming back this way. So I'm going to try that. And then got those bricks out of there and underneath. There's a pretty good burn chamber now, so we'll give that a shot. Alright, well, I got it fired up. Cut the wood a lot smaller. I'd call it more like kindling. Definitely shorter, but seems to be running better. The fire's not coming back out this way, so I'll let it run for a while and see if it gets hot enough to melt that. Well, we've been going for, I don't know, 20 minutes or so, and they're melting. I don't know if you can see that real good down in there, but it's working way better. I think that wall around the outside helped too. I might have to work on something like that, build it up probably about as tall as it is, but all the way around. But that smaller wood is working good. I've used up a bunch already. I'm gonna have to chop some more, but so far so good. So here's the original aluminum melt I tried doing in a can that did not work. Well, it kind of worked. It started to melt it. So I'm gonna throw that in here too, see if I can get it. But see, it's definitely melting. But boy, it uses a lot of wood. Alright, let's get this dross out of there. Decide to let the fire go down. Oh man, it might be that it's not melted enough. Shoot. Man, that's disappointing. It was doing really good a little bit ago. It's like right on the verge of melting. I think I need better wood. This stuff's just doesn't have enough bang for the buck of it. I'll buy some pine. This is just cottonwood crap that I cut down around my yard, so I think pine is probably going to be the way to go. Alright, so today's the 3rd attempt. I'm slowly getting there. So I'm just about to start this up again. It's Just put those cotton balls in Vaseline. Those work awesome if you ever want to try it out. And then there's the crucible from yesterday. It got to melting at one point. It was really good. And then it just started to solidifying, partially melted. So I kind of went off of that chimney thing I built with the bricks and made it out of just some corrugated metal roofing. I think that'll get the job done. We'll try it. And then I also got some better wood. This is, I believe this is was it juniper or something like that? I don't know. Pine. That stuff will burn a lot hotter. I just cut it into chunks that I can feed in there, and also split some, I don't know what kind of pine it is, but, and then some other, that cottonwood and some old redwood 2x4s that were from a deck my dad scavenged the wood off of to use for firewood. So let's fire it up and see how we do. What's going good? I think I'm gonna throw some charcoal in there too. I want to do everything I can for this to actually work. Alright, well, I started escalating this. The wind's been blowing towards me this way and been messing it up and blowing it backwards. So I brought my shop vac out here, put the hose on the exiting port. Now I'm blasting it with some air. This thing's raging now. Sorry if it's loud, but well, that's awesome, man. That thing's blazing. Still blowing out from the where I feed the wood in, but look at that. This thing is going. Check this out. Alright, well, the coals are starting to slow down. I think it's using up the fuel. So I think it's time to pour this thing. So I'm gonna let my daughter film, and I'll turn that vacuum off. So here we go. Not hot enough. Well, my takeaway is it feasible? Yes. Is it practical? No. I think it'll work good for lead, not aluminum. Oh well. It's fun trying. How am I going to get that out of there? Alright, so today's my last attempt. Here's my crucible with the aluminum that was in it solidified before I could dump it out. So I'm just getting it started here. Here's the part that I did pour out. It's been about a week since I've been messing with this, but and I'm wondering if that dross that I was skimming off of there might have just been aluminum that was right between solid and liquid, and it was just clumpy. I don't know. But I bought some charcoal And I got my shop vac where I'm going to blow air into it. So this is it. This is my last attempt at this. Just getting it going now.
I think that's about as hot as I can get this thing.
Well, I poured out the crucible. I don't know how thick that is, maybe 3/4 inch or so, 1/2 inch. But I'm gonna heat it again, try and get some of this other crap out of there. Well, while this is heating again, let's see what we got on the hand. Not bad, I guess. So I'm gonna dump that, whatever's in there, out again, and I just want to get my crucible empty. That's the little bit I got out of the crucible after I warmed it up. Look at that water dancing. Kind of cool. Well, here's the summary of my attempts at this. Here's the most successful part of the entire thing. It's about 3/4 of an inch thick. I'd estimate, I don't know, about 4 pounds maybe, 3 or 4 pounds. My crucible is a wreck. I don't know how I'm going to get that out of there. Somehow. Here's a little bit of that stuff I tried getting out of there at the end. My spoon's jacked up. I think I can get that stuff off. My pile of dross that I think is half dross and half aluminum that just wasn't melted all the way. So when I scooped it, I was just scooping semi-molten aluminum out of there. My little grabbers for the fireplace, these are just old ones, but every time I stick it in there I'd get a little chunk on it. So now it's got a big wad, but it's kind of loose. I think I can get it off there, but I'd have to say it wasn't worth the effort. It's a fun attempt. I think in the future, if I want to do this, I'm just going to have to buy an actual propane forge. They're only a couple $100, which that's not too bad. The $20 I spent on that charcoal, I could have gotten a full tank of propane. So, and the hours of work, and if I want to pour aluminum in anything, propane forge would be better because it's portable. But learning experience. Hope you enjoyed the journey with me. Until next time.